I just do my whole thing under other.
Other.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I did
Feel this.
an hour and a half of cardio today, and then I just did like crazy shit.
Welcome to Third and Five, or welcome back to Third and Five. If you caught our first episode, this is episode 2. We kicking it. I'm Gerard. This is Keith. We got Ty, and we got the game on in the back. So excuse us if we're gonna be a little distracted, but we're trying to hope these Bucks don't get a sweep. Am I right?
I mean, it's a tough hole.
It's over here.
Tough hole to get out of.
It's done. Let's just start there. Like, what y'all think about the Bucks team?
Honestly, ooh.
That's what I think.
Honestly, like, man, I think they're a good season team.
Yeah.
But people have to realize that don't nobody really play defense during the season. It's
Yep.
82 games. I'm not going to exert all my energy.
Well, the thing is, they had trouble with Miami even during the regular season.
Yeah.
I don't think
like,
they beat Miami in the regular season.
No, they did.
They did?
I think Miami beat them once. They beat them 3 times. But the difference is, in playoffs, it's like when I come and play you, I'm not worried about, all right, I play y'all today, I play Denver tomorrow. It's like, no, I'll play you for these next 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you killed us on the last time, I'm not gonna let it happen again. It's easy to adjust.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a problem within the NBA in general because I mean, I'm glad to see the Nuggets were able to get a win over the Clippers last night, but overall, like that first game, we knew that I expected that the entire series just because that series against Utah was really a fluke because don't nobody play no damn defense, you know. And then once you get to a team that play defense, Miami, Clippers, Lakers, maybe sometimes, then that's like when the whole system changes. You know what I mean? Like all that offensive power that we think we see in the NBA is it's like going to play at James Madison.
Well, yeah. Now I was gonna say it's like ain't nobody fearing you. Ain't nobody fearing you like they are during the season, right? Like during the season, like Giannis is super intimidating. During the playoffs, it's like, nah, if I shut you down once, like I took your superpower away. And with Giannis just in general, I mean, Giannis reminds me of me and how I play basketball. I'm best when I'm driving straight to the lane. Yeah, I said it.
I'll see where you take it.
Let me finish, right? Let me finish.
I'll let
right?
you cook.
So, like how I play basketball is I'm faster than you, I'm stronger than you. I'm going to the basket, go get my layups, right? I'm a
Or
rebound.
you're going to the line.
Or I'm going to the line,
Mm-hmm.
right? Go hit free throws. Can't hit free throws. When they clogged the lane, I was obsolete. You took my entire game away because now I feel comfortable enough to dribble, to beat you off the dribble. So when I get double team, so I can't dribble out of the double team. I shoot the ball, you know you're gonna sag off 50 feet from me because you know I can't shoot. So then, what am I left with?
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
This is the NBA.
But that's what I'm saying though. When he's done that for so long and it's worked, it's really hard to get out of that habit.
I get that, but that's part of coaching, and that's part of the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to win a championship, your team, like, it shows. LeBron is still considered the best player in the league by some, right? Maybe not by the others. But at the end of the day, as many times as he's carried teams over and over again to get to the finals, if you don't have anybody, or even get to the conference finals, you don't have nobody that can assist you, or 2 people that can assist you. We've seen it happen where like you're not going to make it, and that's a coaching structure. That's in the NBA. That's a whole structure issue in general.
Yeah, but that's both though, because like once you're deemed a superstar, you're supposed to carry everybody on your back. It's up to you to carry everybody on your back. It's not no one else's fault but yours, which is why Chris Middleton isn't getting the flack he should be getting. Everyone's focused on Giannis.
Exactly, because
Giannis
Middleton has a contract he doesn't really deserve.
Giannis is a superstar. Giannis is going to be the back-to-back MVP. Giannis is expected to carry his team like he has. The fact that he isn't is the issue.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. This is the problem because this is where assistant comes in. If you don't have assistants, you're not going to get there. And that like we talk
You
about.
can't say that though.
Well, you argue this all the time when people talk about LeBron being trash for not having 6 rings already.
But he still carried his team.
But he didn't finish the job.
No, but he's carried.
Why did he not finish the job?
He's gonna do it by himself.
Welcome everybody. I don't know. I mean, y'all know basketball way more than me. Like, Ty, what you think?
I think they're buns. You can't win a championship based off the regular season and having one superstar. I mean, not only does he, I mean, yeah, he's a great player, but he doesn't. He has no help. You're starting Brook Lopez.
I mean, whoa, don't like downplay Brook Lopez.
I'm gonna downplay Brook Lopez. You're starting Brook Lopez in the NBA.
Brook Lopez is also one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
In the regular season.
In the regular season. Probably in the bubble too.
Well, where's he been?
No. And didn't it go like?
He's the only reason why they ain't been in the games.
I don't watch.
I'm just letting you know. You can't die. It's honestly so like George Hill is the best spot up 3-point shooter throughout the entire season. He had the highest average, right? So you know, in a situation he's supposed to be a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every time they shoot, it should be a bucket, right? Chris Middleton got an outrageous contract because of whatever he did last year. You're supposed to be a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis, the best player in the league this year, according to analysts. You're supposed to be a bucket.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that from any of them,
Which is
especially during the playoffs.
right.
And Miami's been smacking everything.
Yeah. But it's yeah. And I would say Miami's a very bad matchup because all Miami does is driving past.
No. They can move the ball around, and I think they're one of the highest for 3-point shooting.
They drive and then dish it out, and then because their entire team sinks in, someone's wide open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I should let you finish. My bad.
Yeah. All they do is drive and dish. And I don't know why the Bucks haven't just like picked up the fact that okay, hey, we're not gonna sink. And honestly, my first thing is don't stop switching.
I think, I agree with you,
Stop
but
switching.
also, I mean, he needs help.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
He needs help.
yeah, but he also needs to improve his game, which is what you were saying. Like, you can't be this one-dimensional
This
and get to the playoffs and look like this because you look overrated.
this team's not gonna get it done
Well,
come next year when Brooklyn's back at full strength.
No,
And-
he looks over. Giannis looks like the most overrated superstar you could possibly have.
I don't think so. I think people expect this. People know he can't shoot, and people know the rest of the team is buns. So yeah, when he drives, that's a team where you can collapse in. It's not like a Clippers team where like if Kawhi drives in, you can collapse in, but you better be ready to run back out there because if you don't, you know.
You wouldn't collapse though with Kawhi. You can't. Everyone knows you can't collapse with Kawhi.
But what I'm saying, if he has a head full of steam and you know he's going to the bucket, people can come in and help.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have second thoughts because it's like, okay, well the rest of the team has it going right? With the Bucks, that's not the case. You can sit there around the paint, wait for guys to come, and like if you're gonna throw it out to DiVincenzo, if you're gonna throw it out to whoever, especially in the playoffs, it's been this way for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
They don't hit. You know what I'm saying? Like a regular season game, like it really shows in the NBA or in the playoffs that don't matter. Like they had the best, and you know what I'm saying. That's where stats and things come in. That's annoying because people like, oh well, they had the best regular season. They were number one. Blah blah blah. This is underachieving. Well, yes and no. I mean, it is underachieving by their stats, yes. But come on, we know the reality is that when it comes to playoff time and you're playing somebody, especially like Miami, who has teams who is a team that's built off not necessarily being superstars, but more like they work together and they play defense and they got a mojo going. Especially right now, they got a mojo going where they just been killing everything since the bubble even started. Yeah, like and so be it.
Well, I think, and one thing that people aren't realizing, man, and something I see over and over and over is the bubble has exposed who really likes basketball and who's there for like stats and fame.
Who you think is there for stats and fame?
I can't think of a name right now, but there's big names that underperform in the bubble. There's a lot of people who underperform in the bubble, and there's a lot of people who came out their shells in the bubble. Like, who would be your MVP for the bubble?
Dame.
I think TJ
Dame
Warren was.
Dame or Donovan Mitchell.
Okay. I mean. Okay. So let's count the 7 or 8 game season. Rest of the season. Who you got? Dame.
Probably Dame, yeah. Dame snapped like with ridiculous numbers those last
Yeah.
few games.
But don't you kind of expect that though?
No.
I knew Dame was cold, but
Yeah,
like
no one
he
knew he
was
was like that.
head and shoulders above
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah. He was the hottest.
Like when you got an entire bench going crazy because you missed a shot, you know you've been doing something.
Yeah.
I guess I thought about it like who was unexpected, and then if that was the case, I would have definitely said TJ Warren.
Oh no, he gets. I thought what's Michael Porter Jr. was unexpected for me.
Did he do well in the bubble?
Yeah.
I
He did.
obviously wasn't paying attention.
He did, but I mean MVP was definitely Dame for
Mhm.
sure. Like I don't think that he's putting up. I just don't feel like he would put up those numbers in this season because it's different. Yeah,
And it was such a you don't have the crowd or any of that, but it's also just like a very condensed form of basketball. You had he had this amount of time to get the job done and he got it done. I mean they lost, but like he put everything into getting
there.
to the playoffs. And like y'all said, everybody that was there, for those who really love the game of basketball, they were able to focus on the sport without having to be at a away crowd or anything
Right.
like that.
You find like that's one thing that I hate. I hate that LeBron said. Like that really pissed me off. Is like he had a hard time adjusting because he's used to playing for crowds. And he's used to being in hostile environments. Same thing Giannis said, and I'm like, you can't use that because everyone's in the same exact situation.
Yeah. But it's still, I mean, you can't tell somebody how to change their equilibrium on the
Some people thrive. Like I used to thrive in that. I used to love. I preferred playing away games to playing home games all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you a savage.
I like that.
And cause like there are players that feed off of crowd's energy. Like that's a real palpable thing.
Yeah, that's what Kobe said.
And I think especially someone like LeBron, who he's been a crowd, like he's been a stadium filler since being 16, 17?
15, 16.
Like, to tell somebody all of a sudden after 17 years of being in the league, you're going to play with no crowds. Like,
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's the dive. Yeah, I said it. He took a dive. He don't want it.
29-31. Well, they were coming back, and now
You better
we'll see
get
what's
up.
going on with.
Kobe shot free throws with the torn Achilles.
Yeah.
All right, Wesley, what you got?
That's the shoe, dude.
What you got, number 9?
You hate to see it.
Shout out Golden State. Here's your chance.
No, I heard he's going to Miami.
Actually, I saw something that is highly
No.
likely he goes to the Mavericks. I mean, he could go anywhere. Like,
if he goes to Miami, it would be considered. It's going to be the weakest move of all time.
That's like Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant going to go say, call him now. But shoot them free throws, otherwise you can't come back in.
Yeah, you better shoot those free throws. If LeBron doesn't get it, I want Russell Westbrook to get his.
I don't. Hot take. I don't think the Lakers going to beat Houston.
I don't either, but also Houston barely scraped by against OKC.
I don't think they're going to beat. Yeah, that's more evenly matched.
OKC Houston?
Yes.
That's a better matchup than Houston LA.
Yes.
It depends on which way the flow of the game goes. Because I mean, Houston has to play small ball. They have no big guys.
I know,
But if AD and LeBron and JaVale start snapping, they can't do anything.
I don't know. They struggle playing in small ball. You got James Harden who will probably average 50, right? Because he's the most unguardable person, right?
but he hasn't been doing it.
He just put up like 40 first game.
What did he do against OKC though? Did he really have any big games against OKC?
Yeah.
Houston also didn't really play all that well.
Yeah.
that.
Well, also, yeah, Westbrook was out, so they were able to play defense differently.
Yeah, I just think that they're gonna have a really hard time because that it's always mismatches on the court.
I'm fine with Russ Westbrook getting a chip.
Yeah, I just want LeBron to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Something that was brought up. I know we was gonna discuss it was social justice. Everything that's happening. So like, how do y'all feel about everything that's happening right now in society? Not necessarily about like what's happening, but like, how do y'all feel about the take that everyone's taking now? Do y'all think it's fake? Like, I'm just doing it because it's popular right now. Or do you think that people actually care about it?
Yeah, there's a ton of it. There's even people of color that are taking a take. Like you, for instance, you go on Instagram, you'll see like some influencers that are obviously taking advantage of being. I mean, could they be caring about the situation? Absolutely, but you can also see how they're using it to benefit their own situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, and maybe that's just me because, like we talked about last episode, for us it's about doing, not showing. Mm-hmm. So, you know. I will openly say I have not been to a protest more because of safety concerns versus anything else. But even if like safety concerns were not part of it, me being at a protest would be will be less likely than me being there, just because like we said, I'm about action. So, and what I meant to say about that to begin with was if I was there, you're not gonna see me on Instagram or Snapchat or anything like that. Like you would never know I'm there unless if I see you there. Mm-hmm. Like. So I don't know. Some people can take it the complete opposite way by saying, well, they want to get the word out. They're an influencer. You have, 3,000 plus followers, and I understand that for sure. But I think it's about a way about doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think. That's what I'm gonna keep it.
Well, to piggyback off that, yeah, we did talk about it, but like, yeah, I think that. Well, one thing that I'm like. I have an issue with is people acting like this is a new thing, right? Like I think it's funny. Like I go back to East and like all the racist black jokes we had about like cops and stuff, right? Like, oh, I can't do that because cop will blah, right? Like we joke about it because that's the only way we know how to deal with it, mm-hmm. Right? And then so for everyone to say like, oh my God, this is really happening, it's like, no, we've been telling you forever. You just didn't believe it because it's not something that
you've been forced to watch.
Yeah, you've been forced to watch and forced to deal with. And then yeah, I think that a lot of people are just doing it because they want pictures. Like I think the allure of possibly being on a national.
Sorry, Jay-Z. Line.
No. I think the potential to be on a national or a picture that goes viral, and then gets national attention, is something that's more appealing than supporting the movement. And so then you have these people who are just there just to be there because it's the cool thing to do right now. But it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, you got black friends. Yeah, you got black coworkers. Yeah, you may have black family members. But like, what are you doing? Like, it's easy to say like, oh, I support Black Lives Matter because I have a black son or I have a black family member. Like, what does that mean? Like, how are you controlling the narrative when we're not in front of you? Mm-hmm. And that's always my biggest thing. It's just like I have a biracial son. My constant conversation in the back of my mind is everyone that's associated with them, friends or whatever. Like how are you protecting them? Yeah. Because it's really hard to like people think like, oh, I can tackle. It's really hard to like call out somebody for blatantly being racist.
For sure, absolutely. No, I feel that. Yeah, that's real. I totally agree with you, but I think that's also. I mean, and this is another thing that is difficult because, like a lot of organizations, people of color organizations will say, we shouldn't have to be the ones to tell you what to do, how to do it, saying hold your hand, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of fight against that because I'm also thinking like, if we don't, or if we're not part of that, at least someone involved in that doing, then one, how do we make sure it's done correctly, and two, how do we make sure that like the money or the resources or whatever is being allocated to the right individuals, right? And like, yeah, maybe you can do your own research, but I think we both can say that there's been a time where we done research on something, but it was best to talk to somebody. And I think like if I'm gonna talk to somebody about a group of people and like helping that group of people, I would want information from that group of people. So I'm on the fence about that one. I get why people say that, but I'm also like, I think it would be best for us to be able to be able to share those. Do I think that we should constantly have to repeat like what we're going through and what we're doing? No, because that like no. Yeah, at some point it's not it shouldn't even have to be an issue of you learning about what's going on, because you can see it. Just what can you do in your household and around in your neighborhood or even the closest by neighborhood to be able to go against that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, well, here's the thing, and this is what I've realized about, especially like what's going on today, right? Like all these killings that you're seeing, right? That we got two sets of people, right? We got people that will argue based on statistics, and then we got people that will argue based on human lives, right? So for me, and I'll use coronavirus as an example, right? I don't care what like the statistics say about coronavirus. We lost however many people. Like I care about lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like people lost loved ones. People lost their lives to this disease, to this whatever this is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now there's other people who argue about statistics. Well, okay, so it's only 1.1% or 0.1% of the country, and justify that many people dying because it's such a small percentage. And so that's what you end up going up against. Just like this black people dying at this alarming rate. One, the black community has known this for decades. Y'all just are hip to it now because it's recorded.
Yeah.
Two, shoot, I just forgot my other point. But yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with even the Black Lives Matter movement, and when it comes to defund police, because once a report comes out about,
I remember this.
go ahead, take it
Okay. The argument is, oh, well, there's more white people get killed by black people, or more white people get killed by police than black people do. And it's, yeah, because there's more white people than there are black people. So, of course, the numbers are going to be higher. Now, understanding that if you're concentrating it, black people are 4 times as likely to get killed by police than white people are, right? But the argument is the stats behind
Sorry,
it.
I'm having trouble.
They're arguing the stats. So, like, that's my
That's where stats could be miscued though, because
Well, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like, you're arguing a large percentage of people versus a small percentage of people. And so you're using the percentages to justify why it shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is.
Well, even outside of that, it's like I think about when you talk about one. I'm not saying it's not true, but I think it's just a quick response to be able to, to say like, it sounds like an all lives matter movement type of person to say something like that.
Yeah.
But I think stats are miscued in that, and why is it? Was it because of maybe a shootout for drugs or something like that versus like, were these white people intentionally just murdered at the fact of like a cop being afraid of them? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. And like numbers are weird, and stats are weird when it comes to that.
You find the stats you're looking for your argument. Kind of thing. This is what you're kind of saying.
Yeah.
It's just depending on what your argument is. You can always find stats.
Yeah, like actually going back to basketball, when Russell Westbrook had his triple-double year, right? People argued, well, yeah, they just feed him the ball. So is he really doing the work, or are they giving him this?
Right.
To the original question, I think that the protests are extremely important and hold a lot of weight. I think what you post on social media has little to no weight, in my opinion. I think the protests are important because protests spark action, and I think showing up to a protest and post on Instagram is more detrimental than doing actual work. If you're one of those that don't like to protest, like myself or Gerard or Marquise, not necessarily that we don't like to, but haven't gone, but are still doing things behind the scenes, I think that's the most valuable. But I think there wouldn't be such a spotlight on what's happening to our community without the protests.
Thanks for joining us today, y'all. This is episode 2. We hope y'all keep rocking with us. We do officially have SoundCloud that we are posting the full podcast on. We're doing slight videos or maybe the full video on YouTube. So both of those are 3rd and 5 on YouTube and SoundCloud. And we also started our Instagram page. So be sure to comment, like, subscribe on all those platforms. We really appreciate y'all for the folks that have started with us even now, and hope to keep going with us in the future. We all on a different point. We are thinking about doing some every podcast type deals. So one thing was trying a new beer out. So if anybody has any suggestions on a beer we should kind of rate and try, let us know. Yes, local and or black owned, very important. That's how we want to start this off. So please, let us know. That's how you can be an ally in this game and be able to keep the circle moving, because business is everything. Ty, you got anything to wrap up with?
No.
Yeah, no. Cool. Well, this is 35. Love y'all. Peace.